Now at 5, Joplin police investigate a rash of car burglaries. Plus, Freeman Health System makes some donations to support area nursing students, and
the Senate turns into a courtroom in the impeachment trial of DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. I'm Natalie Brand on Capitol Hill with what the Senate Majority Leader is saying about next steps.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The KBI has arrested a lieutenant with the Columbus Police Department for child sex crimes. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. KBI agents arrested 55-year-old David Justice of Baxter Springs near his home around 7:15 this morning. Justice faces charges of aggravated indecent liberties with a child, indecent solicitation of a child, and promoting obscenity to a minor. The Columbus Police Department asked the Bureau to investigate allegations against Justice in February of last year. At the same time, the department placed him on unpaid administrative leave from his position of lieutenant. Joplin police say several thefts from vehicles happened throughout the city over the past few days. Among those incidents, a Joplin resident said a person entered his car to steal items from it. This video was recorded by the citizens' home security cameras after 11 last night. Shows a woman walking in the driveway toward the driver's seat door. The car is unlocked. She opens the door and she moves the items in the center console.
I didn't lose anything too important to me, but absolutely lesson learned about keeping the vehicles locked at all times because you cannot trust people.
Thefts from vehicles tend to be crimes of opportunity where criminals will walk down the street and open door handles and they'll enter the vehicles where the doors are unlocked. So make sure to lock your vehicles.
Besides locking your doors, police also advise not to leave valuable items in the vehicles and call 911 if that happens to you. According to the police department, the number of thefts from vehicle reports decreased last year compared to the same period last year, decreased this year. Between January 1st and April 16th of 2023, about 67 cases were reported. This year, there were about 43. Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy joins us.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a nice day for us today. Warm as we went all the way up into the 80s for highs. Most of us about 83, 84 degrees. We're sitting into the lower 80s right now. It looks good, but we do have the chance to get a few pop-up thunderstorms as we go into the evening hours. Right now, looks fine. Most of us are hanging out near 80 degrees. Pretty much clear skies, but we have a warm front that is lifting north, and as it does so, it's going to try to fire off just one or two little thunderstorms, mainly on the Kansas side, a little bit later on this evening. The better threat for severe weather is going to stay up to our north near Kansas City, but we are still level 1 out of 5. Here's your timing from 8 p.m. until about midnight. But again, this is just a couple random little thunderstorms, but we also have a severe threat as we go into Thursday as well. So I'm going to have all those details coming up here in just a bit.
See you soon. Voters in Carterville, Missouri will head to the polls again at the end of the month for a special election. This election was called after the race for councilperson in Ward 1 ended in a tie, 14 votes apiece, for candidates Devin Keelan and Darlene Taylor. The revote is scheduled for April 30th and will cost the city $1,261. In Barton County, a race for the board of the Village of Milford also ended in a tie. The county clerk's office says paperwork has been sent to resolve the tie, but they have not yet heard back. The Democrat-controlled Senate has voted to adjourn the impeachment trial of DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas on a party line vote, 51-49. The Senate Majority Leader said moving forward with the trial would have set a dangerous precedent. Republicans accused Democrats of voting to bypass their constitutional duty. Natalie Brand has details from Capitol Hill.
The impeachment trial of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas ended before it began.
The yeas are 51, the nays are 49. The motion is to agree to. The Senate, sitting as the court of impeachment, stands adjourned sine die.
Democrats voted to declare the articles of impeachment unconstitutional.
Impeachment Article 1 does not allege conduct that rises to the level of a high crime or misdemeanor.
Republicans tried to slow things down on the Senate floor with a flurry of procedural requests.
Move that the Senate proceed to closed session.
I move we adjourn this court of impeachment.
Move to table the point of order.
And they chastised Democrats for not holding a full public trial.
This process must not be abused. It must not be short-circuited. History will not judge this moment well.
House Republicans who voted to impeach Mayorkas in February accuse him of breaching public trust and not enforcing immigration laws, leading to a record number of migrants at the southern border.
When I go home and across this country, the voice of the people is very clear. Secure the border and impeach this man, this criminal.
Speaking on CBS Mornings on Wednesday, Secretary Mayorkas said the border is broken because Congress won't do anything to fix it.
We cannot resource ourselves. We need Congress to do so. We cannot change a broken immigration system. Only Congress.
He again called on Congress to pass a border security bill. A bipartisan deal fell apart earlier this year in the face of GOP opposition. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The Department of Homeland Security spokesperson in a new statement said today proves that there was no evidence to justify impeachment and accused congressional Republicans of standing in the way of bipartisan border reforms. Still ahead, staying safe on the internet.
The Department of Homeland Security is announcing a new campaign to help protect kids online. I'm Bradley Blackburn with their warning for parents and how tech companies are responding.
And next in Health Watch, a look at the health disparities facing Black mothers-to-be. Topping today's Health Watch, Freeman Health System today cut 8 checks for 8 area nursing schools. Each school receives a $2,000 donation, totaling $16,000. The schools receiving the donations are Crowder, Missouri Southern, NEO, Pitt State, Labette Community College, Carthage Technical School, Franklin Technology Center, and Fort Scott Community College. Officials say the donations will help support the training of tomorrow's nurses.
That's why we volunteer. That's why we have a gift shop. That's why we do the things that we do, is to be able to give these funds. The nursing program, they're given the money with no strings attached.
That money was raised by the Freeman Auxiliary through gift galleries, raffles, and other events. It's Black Maternal Health Week. Black women are 3 times more likely than white women to die during childbirth. One hospital in New York has launched an innovative program to address that disparity. Bradley Blackburn spoke with a mom who says it helped save her life.
Anika Walker's baby Nico is almost 2 years old.
He's a ball of energy.
But bringing him into the world came with dangers for her health and his. In her 3rd trimester, she was diagnosed with preeclampsia, high blood pressure, and needed an emergency C-section.
Preeclampsia is very, very dangerous, and I am one of the lucky ones.
She understood the risk and got the vital care because she participated in a program at Northwell Health called MOMS, short for Maternal Outcomes and Morbidity. The goal to educate and support women during and after pregnancy, especially women of color.
I'm getting emotional because they really helped me. I was very scared. They basically held my hand through the whole process.
Maternal mortality overall is very high in this country. For Black women, it's even higher.
Dr. Dawnette Lewis says a full system of care is life-saving. Their postpartum program, with home visits and an AI chatbot to keep in contact with patients, has cut hospital readmissions by nearly 60% for Black patients.
If we can make a change in that across the country, that we can decrease some of those disparities. So I think it's crucial that programs like this exist.
You felt like you had an advocate here.
Absolutely.
Walker is still getting support through MOMS, and she has a message to others who are expecting.
We deserve everything that anyone else is receiving healthcare-wise. Having knowledge about pregnancy, about your body, is the most important tool.
Knowledge that empowers moms to demand vital care so they can care for new lives. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Northwell Health hopes to expand the MOMS program across all of its hospitals, where they deliver more than 30,000 babies every year. And that is a look at today's health news. Doug is next with a complete look at our forecast, and a little later, our Pet Vet on Call.
Hi, I'm Dr. Eva Dudek from Parsons Pet Hospital. Coming up, we're going to tell you how to train your kitten to the litter box.
Well, of course, it turned out to be a great day for us today. Temps into the 80s during the afternoon. We've had quite a bit of sunshine, and through the evening hours, most of us look pretty good. But we are going to get a random, isolated thunderstorm or two. The better chance is going to be on the Kansas side. Some of these could be severe once you get in our far northern counties. But this is going to be from 8 p.m. until about midnight. The main threat here is going to be hail and wind. But again, most of you are going to end up staying dry. Not much going on out there right now. We have pretty much clear skies, but we have a big upper level low turning across the northern parts of the plains, and this is going to usher in a very strong cold front as we get into tomorrow afternoon. So we're having a chance for a few thunderstorms this evening, and then again a higher threat as we get into Thursday afternoon. So let's look at this evening first. All right, here's about 8 or 9 p.m. See that one little guy that pops up in our western counties and then lifts north and east. So the better threat to get thunderstorms is going to be Fredonia and Neodesha, Yates Center, Chanute, Iola, and then maybe over to Fort Scott and Nevada. I think everybody else pretty much stays dry, and then these guys are out of here by about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. All right, temperatures are sitting into lower 80s right now. We have a warm front that is lifting in, so of course that is giving us very nice conditions. But again, we have a strong cold front that rolls in for us tomorrow. So let's look at the threat tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if the yellow here, which is in a level 2, slides a little bit farther toward the north and to the west. But the main threat is going to be along and south of I-44, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Again, the main threat is going to be hail and wind as we get into Thursday afternoon. All right, so let's take a look at it. A few random storms scoot across northern counties tonight. We have a lot of high clouds in the morning. We only dip back into the upper 60s. Here comes a very strong cold front. So here's 1 p.m. Look at the temperature difference. It's 59 in Yates Center. It's 82 in Anderson. Thunderstorms will fire up right along the I-44 corridor and then drift south and east. But the ones that do get going could be strong to severe. Again, the main threat is going to be gusty winds and large hail. These continue to push south and east. So here's 5 p.m. After that point in time, these are out of here, and then we look pretty good. But we are going to cool down quite a bit. Lower 40s for tomorrow night, and then Friday, high temps only into the mid-60s, which still overall isn't that bad. And then a lot of clouds stick around into the weekend as our next storm system kind of scoots just south of the region. All right, day planner on your Thursday, 69 in the morning, 75 by noon. I do think about 1 or 2 p.m. we'll get into lower 80s, and then by 4 p.m. we drop about a 20-degree drop. We'll slide back into the mid-60s. It gets very active as well as we go into next week. First off, tomorrow we will make it an alert day just with that severe threat, mainly in southwestern Missouri. Friday looks okay. A lot of clouds, random showers Saturday and Sunday, but thunderstorm chances return Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and we're going to have a severe threat each and every day for us next week.
Hey, we hope you'll join us tomorrow for our Hero Fund USA telethon. During our noon, 5 and 6 p.m. newscast, we're going to have volunteers standing by to take your calls and donations. All the money raised will support Hero Fund USA, which partners with local first responders to provide them with equipment and safety resources. You can also donate through our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Yesterday, Menards, today, Ollie's. Coming up, we're going to check out the newest store opening in Joplin, drawing in huge lines of customers. Topping today's Consumer Watch, Joplin shoppers have had a busy week. Yesterday, they flocked to Menards. Well, today, they lined up down the street for the opening of Ollie's. The store whose slogan is "Good Stuff Cheap" features closeout merchandise at a reduced price. Around 300 people gathered at 9 a.m. to be among the first in the doors. That store is at 1329 South Rangeline. The Department of Homeland Security today announced a campaign to help prevent child exploitation and abuse online. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children says in the past decade, Tips for suspected online abuse have increased more than 360%. Bradley Blackburn has more on how this new program hopes to help.
The new campaign called No to Protect aims to educate children and their parents about dangers online.
In too many places, the web growing darker and darker.
The public awareness effort includes a website that breaks down the growing problem families face.
In the 20 years I've been working, I've never seen this many leads come in.
A new PSA shows how reports of suspected online exploitation have climbed dramatically in recent years.
Predators go where the kids are. In the past, playgrounds, parks. Now, the digital environment is the playground for these kids.
Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas spoke to CBS Mornings about the goals of the new program, even as he faced an impeachment trial in Washington.
We just have to raise awareness and teach children and everyone around them how to recognize the predators when they are about to be victimized, how to protect themselves.
No to Protect partners include major sports leagues and the parent companies of Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. But in a report this week, the American Psychological Association said tech companies need to make fundamental changes to their platforms to better protect kids. On CBS Mornings, Meta's global head of safety responded to that criticism.
We're not trying to pass the buck to parents, but we all need to work together, whether that's DHS, whether it's us, whether it's parents, to help protect kids online.
The program says parents should password protect and control access to downloads, set limits on device use, change privacy and location settings, and importantly, keep an open dialogue with kids. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
The Department of Homeland Security has also created a new telephone tip line to report suspected online child abuse and exploitation. Tips can also be submitted to report.cybertip.org. Our Pet Vet On Call next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, the safety concerns a whistleblower is raising about Boeing aircraft. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to have more on the rash of vehicle burglaries hitting Joplin. Plus, the Environmental Task Force of Jasper and Newton counties holds a meeting to discuss contamination of some Carthage water wells. And 5 standout athletes at Webb City signed letters of intent to play at the collegiate level. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. The spring season's a time of year when a lot of families decide to add a new puppy or kitten to the family. Well, today's question for our Pet Vet On Call: how should I train my kitten to use her litter box?
Well, good news, you don't have to. It's instinctive for cats to cover their tracks. That's why they bury their poop and their pee so that other animals don't know that they're around. All you really need to do is show your kitty the litter box, maybe put him in the litter box, and then just sit back and enjoy. He'll do it himself.
Hey, we invite questions from anyone. If you have a question, you just send it to petvet@koamtv.com. Dr. Eva Dudek from the Parsons Pet Hospital answers different questions or brings us a fun fact every Wednesday on KOAM News at 5. You can also find answers to previous questions on our website. All right, let's check out our picks of the litter for the week. From the Joplin Humane Society, we have Lizzie, an adult female domestic short-haired cat. And then we have Sophia Pergara from the Southeast Kansas Humane Society. The shelter says this stylish 1-year-old female short hair has some food sensitivities, which requires a prescription diet. If you're looking for a pet, why not check out your local Humane Society? Let's check back in with Doug.
All right, so a few isolated thunderstorms for us later on this evening, mainly on the Kansas side, and then afternoon thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon. An alert day because some of those could be strong to severe. Most of these are going to be along and south of the I-44 corridor. And then cooling down, Friday looks nice. A few random showers over the weekend.
Thanks, Doug, and thank you for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. See you then. Let's make it a great evening.